Okay, guys, this is a big game coming up, obviously, for a number of reasons. We want to make the group stages of the Champions League again, but more importantly, it would be super embarrassing if HK made the Champions League and we didn't, okay? So let's not get embarrassed. Let's just go out there, beat these Greek guys, and make the Champions League again. Come on. Hello everyone and welcome to episode number 109 of Husavik Heroes here on Shaun Does FM. I hope you are doing well, and coming up in today's episode we have the Champions League qualification playoff. We take on Olympiacos of Greece, and off the back of that we will also have the draw for whichever UEFA competition that we do end up in. We've also got two other Icelandic teams in playoffs as well, which we will keep an eye out on over the course of today's episode. So if you are looking forward to this one, then do remember to go down below, leave a thumbs up on the video, and if you haven't done so already and are enjoying this series here on the channel, also remember to hit that subscribe button and turn that notification bell on as well. It is greatly appreciated. But we come into today's episode having absolutely done nothing on field since the end of yesterday's one, that third qualification round tie against Bohemian of Ireland. If you did miss that one, I'll leave a link to it over in the top right corner on screen. You can see we are probably playing the marquee qualification playoff tie here against Olympiacos. There's some quite interesting teams in this playoff this year, certainly some teams who aren't usually this deep into qualification, it is fair to say, and certainly not on the champions side either. Before we do preview this tie against Olympiacos, a quick little update of what the other Icelandic teams in European playoffs today are doing. The first one of those is on the league path side of the Champions League, HK. They take on Shakhtar of Ukraine. We will keep a big eye out on that one while we do take on Olympiacos in these two leagues, and we go down to the Conference League. Not looking quite as promising for Acronis. I suppose they've got a sneaky chance, but they take on the team that did beat us in the Conference League final a few seasons ago now in Brighton and Hove Albion. Not looking quite as likely for those guys, but it would be very nice indeed if they could pull off an upset. But at the very least, we are going to get two teams into the group stages of a European competition, us and HK. Hopefully we can both get into the Champions League, even though HK might be quite a bit better off down in the Europa League. They might be able to win a few more games down there, I do suspect. But we are taking on Olympiacos of Greece. They are a 3.5-star reputation club. We've taken them on before a few seasons ago now it was, and we did defeat them on aggregate. If we go back to past meetings, in fact, we did back up a 1-1 draw in the away leg with a 4-2 win at home. That was in the third qualifying round of the Champions League back in 2026. So it has been a little while. We should be a lot stronger than we were then, and hopefully we can pick up a win here and make our way through to the group stages of the Champions League. Yet again, one other factor coming into discussion for this tie is quite important, as we mentioned at the end of yesterday's episode, potentially on where we could finish this season on the coefficient table. Because if we go and have a look at how things are standing at the moment for that, and if we go forward the coefficient at the end of this season for the next season, at the moment Greece are above us by about 2.5 points. A win here could be quite useful in trying to make up some ground on those guys. Get a nice little gap on nations below us like Turkey, Russia and Austria, as well as Croatia. All those nations not too far behind us at the moment, but hopefully we can jump above those guys. At the moment we are on for a rise from 16th to 14th. So the more wins that we do pick up across the course of this episode, not just us of course, but also HK, and to a slightly lesser extent, because not expecting much from those guys, Acronis, the more points we can pick up in qualification, the better, and hopefully close that gap on Greece and those nations just above them as well, the likes of Ukraine, Scotland and Denmark. But we come into this one full strength. We have not been able to make any registration changes since yesterday's episode just yet. We might bring Icelandic back in for the second leg of this one, but we are back to our full strength lineup, our ideal starting 11 with John Matthews at right back, and the bench that we did have from the first leg of yesterday's game against Bohemian. So pretty much at full strength with just that injury to Icelandic with Galtason replacing him on the bench. And we'll come back shortly and hopefully get off to a good start in this playoff away from home. We'll see you shortly from Greece for the first leg. And after 5 minutes, we do have our first highlight of this playoff. The first thing that you might notice in the background is actually a crowd watching us. It's been a long time since that has been the case, so that is nice. Something must have changed on my graphic settings maybe, because that has not been happening of late. But there's a nice ball there for Rakasan, tucks that away. Bottom left corner, Kalin Rakasan, one of our new additions prior to this European season. And there you can see that little Völsungur corner in the bottom left. They are going off, and after only 6 minutes, we do take a 1-0 lead here in Greece. It was some good short passing off the back of a long ball hoofed forward there by Olympiacos. Nice ball there from Zimmerman, and Rakasan, being the former striker at Cluj, tucks that away, and we are already 1-0 up nice and early in this away leg. Albeit not too long off the back of that opening goal, it is now Olympiacos in possession on the attack inside our final third also. Shakhtar 1-0 up there against HK in Iceland. There's a good chance there for one of the Olympiacos players, but Husavik just puts that over the bar. So Olympiacos looking to strike right back in this game. A set piece here. Pepe puts it in near post. It's a little bit messy here, and we just try and scramble this away. Thankfully, Husavik clears that off the line. That was a little bit dicey, but we are still 1-0 up here after 10 minutes. And up to the 16-minute mark for our next highlight. Yet again here, it's a set piece for Olympiacos, and Gravakos is there to tuck that away at the far post. Just a little bit better in the air he was there than Elias Anderson. And Olympiacos, to be fair to them, they have had the foot down on us since we did grab that opening goal. Not great that from Husavik or Anderson, and we get caught out there at set piece. It's now 1-1 approaching the 20-minute mark. And up to the half-hour mark now, it is a goal kick here for Olympiacos. To be fair to them, they have absolutely been dominating this game for the most part since we did grab that opening goal, and probably do deserve to be back at 1-1. And hopefully we can stop their momentum here, as we're just starting to get a few more shots on target since they did grab that equaliser. But they do hold the ball well here, do the Greek outfit in front of their home fans. It does look like a packed out stadium. They do play that back to the goalkeeper, and just some short passing here amongst their defence. Pepe plays that back to Papa Cisse, and they're still being pressed here in their defence, but that's a nice ball over the top there for Stosic. There's a little bit too much pace there for our wing-backs. They put a ball over the top there. Elias Anderson does cut it out. Marty gets it up to Pellegrini. That's really average that from Husavik, and Pietro Pellegrini tucks that away, and we are behind in the first leg of this Champions League playoff after grabbing an early 1-0 lead. Elias Anderson just comes out of position there to win that header. Pellegrini gets on the wrong side of him, albeit I think Husavik should be a lot closer to his near post there, gets beaten there, and all of a sudden we are 2-1 down with just over 10 minutes left in the first half. And just shy of half-time, Olympiacos did have possession there, but they do clear it deep, and hopefully we can grab an equaliser here right before half-time, because so far, ever since we did grab that opening goal nice and early, Olympiacos are certainly playing the better football. They have had all the highlights since we did grab that opener, and now 2-1 up. But we try and get something going here. Zimmerman from the edge of the box makes his way in nicely, but his shot is a little bit weak. Still a decent save there from the Olympiacos goalkeeper. We might make a few changes here at halftime too, because there's a few players not really performing as well as they should be. They do deal with that corner to Olympiacos. That is halftime. We certainly got back into that late in the second half, but they did bounce back very well from that opening goal that we did score through Rakasan. They grabbed one from set piece through Gravakos, and then a strike from just outside the box from Pellegrini, and they do take a 2-1 lead into halftime. Stats-wise, it is a pretty even game. We certainly could be playing better, just knocked off a little bit there after we did grab that opening goal. We are going to make a few changes here at halftime. Matthews, Meza, and Larson all on 6.5s or lower, so I do think those are areas we could certainly improve. Might need to wake the boys up here a little bit. And I think what we're going to do here, the way the momentum was going in that first half, is make a triple substitution. Harwood for Meza, Carlo on for Matthews, and also Chaka Traore for Frederick Larson. So all our subs used up already. Much better effort needed here in the second half, as we are 2-1 down. And we are just past the hour mark for our first highlight here of the second half, trying to get something going there down the right-hand side, but thankfully we do get the ball back and are still on the attack here inside Olympiacos' half. Hopefully we can grab an equaliser here in the second half. Harwood just in behind the defence. Zimmerman puts that into the top right corner. There will be a VAR check. We'll just wait and see whether Nicholas Zimmerman was onside. Can he grab a goal to go alongside his assist from the first half? Indeed he can, and already some of those substitutions that we did make at halftime linking up nicely there. Chaka forward there to Harwood, and Nicholas Zimmerman just puts that in the top right corner. And we are all back to even Stevens here, Desmond, just after the hour mark. And 10 minutes off the back of that equaliser, we do have our next highlight as a throw-in here to Olympiacos. And yet again, they have too much pace here for our fullbacks today. Grivakos plays that back in there for Pepe. They try and put a ball there far post, and Shakhtar is going to get on the end of that, and he has some good pace here off the bench at halftime. He has been very good domestically so far this season, has our backup winger, and Karel Giroux through there for Rubio. Nicholas Zimmerman yet again into the right-hand corner. Yet again, we are going to have to wait, though, for a VAR check. That one did look pretty close. Benjamin Rubio trying to slot him through. We'll just wait and see what Paolo Valeri does say, and the goal has been awarded, and it's a second half double here for Nicholas Zimmerman, and we do go 3-2 up here away from home. This would be a great result to take back home off the back of what the score was there at halftime. Some good short passing. He is just onside there, just outside the box, tucks it away yet again. 3-2 Völsungur with just over 15 minutes left. And we are inside the last 20 seconds of this one. We do have a late corner. Bassero Guy puts that just over the bar. That would have been a great cushion goal advantage to take back to Iceland, but that is full time. That was a very entertaining game. We sort of fell off there after that opener in the first half, as I said, at halftime, but those changes certainly helped most players that did come off the bench getting into the green, and we certainly had the better of things there in the second half, and Nicholas Zimmerman picked up 2 goals to go alongside his first half assist, and that is a very nice 3-2 victory after being behind 2-1 at halftime. So we do take an advantage back to Iceland for the second leg of this Champions League playoff, and potentially, more importantly, do pick up a win against Greek opposition for the coefficient. We'll just go forward here and see what did happen in that game between HK and Shakhtar before we do go forward a week prior to the next leg of this Champions League playoff. And there you can see in that tie involving HK, unfortunately no action there from the 5-minute mark. Shakhtar will go back to Ukraine with a 1-0 advantage. So yet again, the away teams do have advantage here in the Champions League in these ties involving Icelandic teams. We are 1 goal up against Olympiacos. HK need a win over in Ukraine to try and make their way through to the Champions League group stage draw, but we'll come back shortly. We've actually got 2 games domestically in between now in that second leg, rather annoyingly, albeit that is against the teams who are both in the relegation zone in the league, so at least the scheduling there has somewhat suited us, but we'll show you guys the results of those. Check in on how Acronis are getting on in their Conference League playoff before we do get into the second leg of this tie against Olympiacos with that 3-2 lead. And back we are right on the verge of the second leg against Olympiacos with that 1 goal lead, and we do come into this with our backup team having done a good job against those teams in the relegation zone domestically since the first leg of that playoff in Greece. First off, we took on Shaun at home and did pick up a 3-0 win. That was thanks to second half goals there, a double to Fabio Mariano and a penalty to Deprisco, all between the 52 and 57 minute mark, and we do pick up a 3-0 win, and off the back of that, we travelled away to Hafnarfjordur yet again. We pick up a win this time by a slightly more convincing margin of 4-0. First half goals there to Deprisco, Mariano and Traore prior to a late strike there from Nicolucci Caviglia working his way back from that injury, and that does mean that we are still unbeaten yet to drop a point on the league table. We are now 11 points clear of Nuts KR with 2 games in hand, 13 points clear of HK with just that 1 game in hand, so nonetheless in a pretty good position to be winning this league title for the 8th season in a row, I believe it would be. And while we do check in on how the domestic league table does look, we will check in on Acronis as well. Of course, they were taking on Brighton in a Conference League playoff, currently domestically struggling a little bit, albeit they don't really look like they're in too much danger of being relegated, but Acronis, they are in a Conference League playoff. If we make our way over to the Conference League, there you can see they've actually done a decent job at home there against Brighton, scoring 2 goals, but unfortunately Brighton, they scored 4, so they do trail by 2 goals going to England for the second leg of that tie. Certainly not without a sneaky chance, but back at home, you would back Brighton to be winning that one. But going into the second leg of this Champions League playoff, we are 1 goal up. HK are 1 goal down. Just the 1 change to our lineup on the bench for this upcoming game. Nicolucci Caviglia is back on the bench in place of Galtason, but apart from that, exactly the same squad, and hopefully we can pick up a slightly more convincing result here at home and make our way through to yet another Champions League group stage draw. And we have to wait until the 18-minute mark for our first highlight here of this league at home at one of our homes away from home here in Iceland. And we are on the attack. Nice ball forward there for Benjamin Rubio. Tries to put that top right corner. Just goes wide. Yet again, you can see fans here at the ground, which is nice. But it's still 0-0 here after 20 minutes of the away leg. But we are 1 goal up on aggregate. And about 10 minutes off the back of that first highlight, it is a throw in here for Olympiacos. Stats-wise, we are certainly looking the more threatening team on that, but here's a good chance for Olympiacos, thankfully. Muddy puts that well over the bar, still 0-0, 1 goal up over both legs at the half-hour mark. And just shy of the 40-minute mark, we do have a throw-in here inside the final third of Olympiacos. Frederick Larsson squares that, and yet again, Kalen Rakasan gets a goal here in the first half. Slide tackles that into the bottom right corner, and we now have a cushion goal over both legs here. It is 4-2. And 1-0 on the day. Stats-wise, slightly edging this leg of this tie, so it is good to get some reward for that. Not too long before halftime, and we are 1-0 up coming into halftime in the second leg. And that is halftime here in the second leg. We are 1-0 up on the day thanks to that late first half goal there to Rakasan, and now 4-2 up overall. A good solid first half from us there. You can see we were certainly the better team in that first half. That is what we were after a little bit of a scrappy first half away from home. It is fair to say no changes just yet. Basaroge is on a yellow card, so if we can get one more goal, we might just make a change there at some stage in the second half. But in a fairly decent position here at halftime in the second leg. 2 goals up with 45 minutes left of this Champions League playoff. And 7 minutes into the second half, we do have the first highlight, a long throw, and yet again inside the final third, Benjamin Rubio flicks that on, and yet again, Kalen Rakasan puts that away. He is proving to be a very good acquisition for us in this past transfer window. That is now his third goal of that tie. Well-worked move there from the set piece, and we are now 3 goals up on aggregate, not too long into the second half of the second leg. And up to the hour mark, we do now have that 3-goal cushion. Basaroge down to a yellow heart as well as that yellow card. He is a player who usually does tire quite a bit, so we will bring on Caviglia for him. Karel Giroux can move into the DM role for this last half hour. And we are up to the 69-minute mark. A nice time for us to make our second substitution. Rakasan having a blinder, but is down to a red heart, so we'll take him off. Poor Stein Anderson to come on for him. Still 3 goals up here with 20 minutes left. And just over 15 minutes left of the second leg, and we are going to make our last substitution. Just that one highlight so far for that goal here in the second half, but Zimmerman down to a red heart on a 6.7. Fabio Maliano to come on for him. Still no update from the HK game as well, so I presume they are still 1-0 down, but we are in a pretty good position with just over 15 minutes left, 3 goals up here in this Champions League playoff. And we are in injury time of this Champions League playoff. We are going to be going through to that playoff, and there's an interesting development there with HK. They are 1-0 up away from home, and one of the Shakhtar players has picked up a red card. I presume that game, if that was full time, is going to be going to extra time, so HK have a sneaky chance there of making their way through to the Champions League group stage draw as well. But not many highlights there in that second leg, but a much better performance, and we get the job done there thanks to 2 goals to Kalen Rakasan, certainly our player of the match across both legs, and Nicholas Zimmerman was certainly important in the second half of that first leg as well. But that was a much more solid performance, not too many chances there to Olympiacos. We were quite clinical with ours and go through 5-2 on aggregate to the Champions League group stage draw, and also beat Greek opposition in both legs. That could be quite important for the coefficient table. And there you can see HK are also going to join us in the group stages of the Champions League. I'm not too sure if that's a good thing, but nonetheless, that means that they do pick up some more coefficient points here in qualification, because they pick up a 2-0 win away at Shakhtar after extra time. Werner Bayer did pick up a red card as well there in extra time, but one of our lone players, Miguel Monroy, did pick up the goal that will send HK through to the group stages of the Champions League, and we'll come back shortly with that draw. 2 Icelandic teams for the first time in the group stage draw for the Champions League. And here we are about to have our Champions League group stage draw with both us and HK in it. 2 Icelandic teams for the first time, just a couple of hours shy too of the second leg between Akranes and Brighton. So we just need to wait and see the result there of that Conference League playoff, but we will take part in this draw. We are in the third pot. We'll just have a quick look here at which teams are in which pot, especially now, because we need to keep a little bit of an eye out on which group HK might end up in as well. But the top pot has Man City, the defending champions, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, PSG, Juventus, RB Leipzig. That's a team that we did beat to second place in the group stages last season, albeit they went on to win the Europa League. Still not salty about that at all. Anderlecht are somehow in the top pot as our Feyenoord. I'm not too sure if that's a glitch, but those are two very, very average looking teams there for the top pot of the Champions League. Down to the second pot. This pot is stacked. We have Man United, Chelsea, AC Milan, Inter Milan, Liverpool, Dortmund, Ajax, and Barcelona. Out of those, Ajax might be our most preferred opposition there, considering we did beat them on our road to the Europa League final a few seasons ago. The third pot, we don't need to pay too much attention to this one in terms of us, but Nice, Real Sociedad, Lille, Napoli, Sevilla, PSV, and Rangers are the teams that HK could get out of that pot. And the fourth pot, HK, quite clearly the lowest ranked of the teams down in this one, but Dynamo Kiev, FK Partizan, Galatasaray, Lokomotiv Moscow, Benfica, Hertha Berlin, or Slovan Bratislava are the teams that we could get as fourth seeds in our group here for the Champions League draw. So we'll just steadily make our way through this draw until we do get to the third pot, just getting through that first part of the draw. And it does look like Group F or G do look the most suitable. Even if it's not for us, it would be quite nice if HK could get in one of those groups. Of course, Anderlecht are a team who just flunked their way in the Champions League a few seasons ago. That was a year that we had Man City in our group and we comfortably finished third in that one. So if we got Anderlecht, that might already indicate we could finish second in a group with those guys in a Feyenoord as well. To be fair to those guys, they actually did a decent job in the knockouts of the Champions League last season, but they certainly do look a little bit weaker than the other teams in this first pot as well. But those two groups so far do look ideal, especially for a team like HK, who might need a little bit of help in the group stages of the Champions League. I think it is fair to say, now getting through the second pot, Barcelona and Juventus yet again. Hopefully we can avoid that one, so it's not like what we did a few seasons ago in that exact same group. PSG and Liverpool, that is certainly one to avoid, as is Group C with Bayern and AC Milan. Man City and Ajax, that looks like a slightly similar situation to last year when we had Man City and RB Leipzig. So if we got that group, maybe we would be in with a sneaky chance of finishing second yet again, albeit maybe we're better off going down to the Europa League and might pick up some more coefficient points that way. Group E, Dortmund alongside Real Madrid. Group F is Anderlecht and Chelsea. I certainly think we could beat Anderlecht, so if we got in that group, I would back ourselves to finish second in that group quite comfortably. Group G, Feyenoord and Man United. That's an interesting looking group. And Group H is RB Leipzig, who, as I said, we beat twice in the group stages last season before they won the Europa League, and Inter Milan. And now we are in the third pot, which we do take part in. We do avoid Group A, which is nice just because we have played Juventus and Barcelona in the same group before. Group B would be nice to avoid. A red-hot PSV do go into that group. Sevilla do join Group C alongside Bayern and AC Milan. Group D is Man City, Ajax, and Rangers. That would not be the worst group, I think, for HK, to be honest, because Ajax and Rangers are not too difficult, I would dare say, compared to the likes of a group of Bayern and Milan. I think there's only one big gun in that group, it is fair to say. In Group E, we have Lille joining Real Madrid and Dortmund. That would have been interesting to see how we did match up there against Dortmund, considering they've been just a little bit worse than RB Leipzig the last few seasons, but we do not need to worry about that. Group F or G, and I certainly would back ourselves to finish second in either of those groups. It is Real Sociedad in Group F so far. That group does look like a bit of a cakewalk for Chelsea. Group G, it is Napoli, who join Feyenoord and Man United. So that does mean that yet again, we will get RB Leipzig, but for the first time, we get Inter Milan. That is certainly a group we could finish second in if results from last season do stack up, albeit RB Leipzig, maybe they've improved a little bit off the back of winning the Europa League. And now to pot 4, which HK are in. They are yet to come out. Ideally, maybe Group F, I think they could certainly take some points off someone like Anderlecht, or as I said, maybe a team like Ajax or Rangers at home as well. But so far they have not come out, and they come out in Group C, and that does look really difficult for those guys. Bayern Munich, Milan and Sevilla. That might be tough times there for HK. As I said, maybe we would have preferred them to actually lose that playoff and make their way down to the group stages for the Europa League, but we will get through the rest of this draw and just see who we do get as the last team in our group, and it will be FK Partizan. That is a team who, of course, did beat Juventus early on in that group that we did have alongside those guys, Barcelona and Partizan, a few seasons ago. They are a team who can really throw the cat amongst the pigeons. This could be quite a fun group. Of course, last season, Partizan finished third in a group, denying Liverpool a place in the knockouts of the Europa League. So they are certainly a team who can knock off bigger sides. We will need to be on our game against those guys. So this group could be very interesting. All the fixtures, I dare say, are going to matter. No clear standout in that group. Maybe Inter Milan would be the favourites, but then it's a bit of a free horse race there potentially for that second spot. But hopefully, at the very least, we can finish third in that group and make our way down to the knockouts of the Europa League. That might be the most suitable thing for the coefficient in this upcoming season. In terms of HK, they are probably in a little bit of trouble. Not going to expect too much more help out of those guys taking on the likes of Bayern Munich, AC Milan and Sevilla, but we'll just go forward a little bit further and see what does happen in that playoff in the Conference League between Brighton and Akranes. We'll just make our way over to this before we do preview what is coming up in tomorrow's episode, and there you can see Brighton did win the second leg 3-1 at home, so they well and truly knock Akranes out in that Conference League playoffs. So it's just us and HK in European football this season, albeit both of us are going to be in the group stages of the Champions League. HK, though, are in a very tough group. We are in a group which I think it's fair to say does look fairly even, maybe apart from Inter Milan, who should probably be topping that group. It'll be interesting to see how we do get on against some teams who aren't really the best in their country. That could be quite interesting to see how we do match up against those teams like Inter Milan and RB Leipzig, who just aren't quite good enough to win the leagues in their respective countries. We have proven we can beat teams like that in the past, so hopefully we can do that again. Might even have a sneaky chance of making our way through to the Champions League knockouts yet again. But that will do it for today's episode, making our way through to the Champions League group stage yet again, as did HK for the first time. We've got two Icelandic teams in the group stages of the Champions League. When we do come back tomorrow to end this week in Husavik Heroes, we will be playing our first game in the group stages of the Champions League, and that is quite an important game. We travel away to Germany to take on RB Leipzig. We won this game last season 2-1. It'll be interesting to see how we do get on if RB Leipzig are a little bit stronger this season. If we can pick up some points there away from home, I dare say that puts us in a good position to potentially finish inside the top two in this group, albeit, as I said, the likes of Partizan have been known to cause some upsets in Champions League football over the past few seasons, so we will have that game. And hopefully as well, if we can beat Akranes here in a semi-final off the back of this playoff, we might also have a Molke-Bikeren final as well. That could potentially be quite a tasty matchup, because the other semi-final is HK against Curry, who are a team from the third tier here in Iceland. So you will well and truly expect a Champions League team like HK to be winning that one. It could be a matchup there in the Icelandic Cup final of the two teams in the group stages of the Champions League. So hopefully that's what we will have for you in tomorrow's episode. Definitely that game against RB Leipzig, and as long as we do beat Akranes in our next game, also a cup final potentially against the other Champions League team from Iceland there in HK. But if you did enjoy today's episode, then do remember to go down below, leave a thumbs up on the video, and if you haven't done so already and are enjoying this series here on the channel, also remember to hit that subscribe button and turn that notification bell on as well. And until tomorrow, where we kick off the group stages of the Champions League yet again, thank you very much for watching. Keep on keeping on, and I'll see you then. Cheers.